There are moments in coin collecting when you're not just holding a piece of metal, you're holding a piece of the very beginning of a nation. And today, we are diving into one of the most historically charged, emotionally powerful, and unbelievably rare treasures in early American numismatics. Welcome back to Coin's Numismatic Series, where rare coins come alive, and every story feels like a journey through time. If you're a collector who loves the thrill of early mint history, the beauty of the first U.S. designs, and the excitement of owning something that has survived centuries, then stay with me, because the 1789 to 1797 $1 coin is one of the most extraordinary pieces you'll ever encounter. This coin carries the heartbeat of the founding days of the United States. It reflects the ideals, struggles, and ambitions of a brand new country trying to establish its identity, and its money system, from the ground up. When we talk about the 1789 to 1797 $1 coin, we're referring to the earliest era of the U.S. Mint, a period before George Washington even completed his second term as president. These coins belong to the flowing hair and draped bust silver dollar series, the very first official silver dollars ever struck by the United States. Their creation came directly from the Coinage Act of 1792, which laid the foundation for the American monetary system. By the time minting began in 1794, the young nation needed stable currency to support trade, strengthen the economy, and assert independence from foreign coins, which had dominated circulation for decades. The dollar was chosen as the unit that would represent the country's financial identity, and these early silver dollars were the proof of that promise. The flowing hair design, issued from 1794 to 1795, marked the birth of the American dollar. On the obverse, liberty is shown with long, flowing hair, symbolizing freedom and the nation's youthful spirit. She faces right, framed by a simple arrangement of stars representing the states. This portrait is raw, bold, and captivating in ways that later designs could never replicate. It reflects a moment in time when the designers and engravers were still finding their artistic voice, yet they managed to create a powerful image that captured the soul of the new republic. The reverse of the flowing hair dollar features a small, almost delicate eagle perched within a wreath. While later coins would portray a more majestic eagle, this early version symbolizes the fragile beginnings of the U.S., promising strength but still growing into its identity. Even in fine condition, these coins show enough of their original features for collectors to appreciate their artistry. The hair strands, eagle feathers, and wreath details may show flattening, but the main devices remain bold and easily recognizable. In 1795, the draped bust design replaced the flowing hair portrait. This design is considered one of the most elegant and iconic in early American coinage. Liberty's portrait was inspired by a model said to resemble Philadelphia socialite and Willing Bingham. The draped bust obverse shows Liberty with soft curls, a draped neckline, and a more refined, classical style. It gives the dollar a sense of maturity, reflecting the growing confidence of the country. The reverse design still features a small eagle, continuing the theme of a young nation finding its footing. Later in 1798, this design would evolve into the more famous heraldic eagle style, but during the 1789 to 1797 period, the smaller eagle symbolizes early American vulnerability and optimism. The inscriptions on these early dollars are an essential part of their identity. The obverse reads Liberty, with the date positioned below the portrait. 13 stars, symbolizing the original states, surround the central portrait. The reverse contains the inscriptions United States of America and features the eagle encircled by a wreath. No denomination appears on the coin, but the weight and silver purity were intended to match the Spanish milled dollar, which Americans were already familiar with. These inscriptions reflect the pride and official authority of a nation establishing its presence on the world stage. Even in fine condition, these words remain legible, though some may show softness on coins that circulated heavily during the 18th and early 19th centuries. Mintages for coins of this era were dramatically small compared to later U.S. coinage. The very first dollar struck in 1794 had a mintage of only 1,758 pieces, an incredibly tiny number when we consider how many have survived today. Many experts believe fewer than 150 examples remain in all grades combined. The $1,795 saw higher production, but still only around 160,000 struck, and survival numbers remain low. Coins from the late 1790s, including the early draped bust small eagle issues, also had modest mintages, and combined with heavy circulation, melting, and loss over more than 200 years, surviving fine-condition pieces are extremely scarce. The 1789 to 1797 date range represents the earliest and rarest era of U.S. dollar history, and collectors treasure any piece from this period regardless of exact year. Because these coins were produced using early mint technology, hand-operated presses, individually prepared dies, no two coins are exactly alike, giving each one a unique personality. The market value for early U.S. dollars is strong and continues to increase year after year. Even a heavily worn example can bring thousands of dollars, while a fine-condition piece often sells for significantly more depending on the date, die variety, and eye appeal. Flowing hair dollars are among the most expensive coins in the entire U.S. series. Even in fine condition, an 1794 or $1,795 can command prices well into the five-figure range. Draped bust small eagle dollars from 1795 to 1797 also carry high premiums, especially if the coin shows natural toning, minimal damage, and solid surface integrity. Graded coins, especially those certified by PCGS or NGC, often sell for even higher premiums because collectors value guaranteed authenticity for rare early dollar issues. Market trends consistently show that early federal coinage outperforms many other collectible categories due to limited supply and high historical significance. Errors and varieties add another layer of fascination for collectors of the 1789 to 1797 dollar era. Because these coins were made before the mint standardized processes, mistakes were more common. Die cracks, die clashes, off-center strikes, uneven strike pressure, weakly struck areas, and planchet laminations all appear in varying degrees. These aren't just errors, they're part of the story of early American minting. Flowing hair dollars show multiple die marriages, each with subtle differences, such as star spacing, hair detail variations, and wreath characteristics. Draped bust dollars also have numerous die varieties. Collectors who specialize in early dollars often study these tiny differences closely and build collections based on specific die marriages. A rare die marriage can increase a coin's value far beyond the typical market price, and even fine-condition examples of rare varieties can sell for incredible premiums. Collector interest in early U.S. dollars is extremely strong and continues to grow. These coins sit at the top of many collectors' want lists because they represent the beginning of the American dollar system and are deeply tied to the nation's early political and economic challenges. Owning a 1789 to 1797 dollar is like owning a frozen piece of American history, touched by hands from the earliest generations of the nation. Their rarity, beauty, and symbolic importance make them some of the most prized pieces in the entire catalog of U.S. numismatics. For many collectors, the dream of adding just one early dollar to their collection becomes a lifelong goal. The value, both financial and historical, makes these coins irreplaceable treasures that will always be cherished, studied, and admired. As we close this deep exploration of the 1789 to 1797 $1 coin, it's easy to see why these early dollars are among the most sought-after coins ever produced by the United States. They tell the story of a newborn nation learning to stand on its own. They carry the artistry of America's earliest engravers, the struggles of the first mint workers, and the confidence of a country laying the foundation of its currency. Even in fine condition, these coins remain remarkably rare, breathtakingly important, and endlessly captivating for collectors around the world. If you ever encounter one, remember, you're not just looking at a coin, you're looking at the very beginning of America's numismatic legacy.